Texas Country Live. My name is Rod Binion. We will showcase the best of the local singer-songwriters, giving them the opportunity to bring their original music straight to you, the viewer. I will be asking them questions so you can learn personal information about your favorite local artists. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Texas Country Live. I'm your host, Rod Binion. Our featured artist today is Miss Susan Hickman. Thank you for being here, Susan.
Thank you for having me.
It's been a long time since you and I have seen each other.
I know, it has.
When was that CD release party that you had? Do you remember what year that was? It's been a long time.
Which one?
Well, it was the one that I opened for you at Brock Wine and Blues.
Oh, shoot. Yeah. Gosh, I don't even...
That was around, 2006, maybe 2007? Or was it later than that?
It might have been about that.
Yeah.
That was a cool place, wasn't it?
It was a cool place. And you know what? You packed that place out, man. I had a great time. That was one of the best shows I ever did. And, it was neat because you were the feature, okay? And I kind of opened, but we were back, kind of ricocheting back and forth. You'd do a set, and I'd do a set. Mm-hmm. And it was awesome, man. I had a great time. I enjoyed the heck out of it. It was one of the best shows I ever played. Scott Henley was the guy that owned the place,
yes.
And he was a really nice guy. But
they were awesome. Yeah, that place, I haven't thought about that place in a long time.
And I miss it, man. I have a picture of where they had me on the big TV screen out front, And I had to make sure to show my mama that. Big shot. Okay, we're going to do this section, what we call warm-ups. Just kind of get things flowing here. You ready to go?
I'm ready. I think I'm ready.
Let me see here. I got to look it up. Okay, warm-ups right here. Blake Shelton or Luke Bryan?
Blake Shelton.
Loretta Lynn, Dolly Parton.
Dolly Parton.
Winona or Reba?
Winona.
Right on.
I love her.
Lady A or Little Big Town?
Ooh.
Tough one?
Let's do Little Big Town.
Right on. George Strait or the Hag?
Hag.
Yeah. Hank Jr. or Senior?
Senior.
Right. Carrie Underwood, Kelly Clarkson.
Kelly Clarkson. She's one of the greatest vocalists of all time.
Kelly Clarkson?
Yes.
Man, I agree. And you know what? Carrie Underwood she's amazing.
And she's amazing too, but Kelly, she could do everything.
Right. She's incredible. I saw Carrie Underwood do How Great Thou Art on one of the award shows. And man, I'm telling you right now, it just gave me chills from head to toe, man. It was just incredible. She's got a crazy strong voice. Okay, let's see here. Gwen Stefani or Katy Perry?
Ooh, Gwen Stefani.
Right on. Luke Combs or Jason Aldean?
Luke Combs.
All right. You ready to get into this main body of the interview?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, we'll be right back with Miss Susan Hickman, and we'll get this interview kicked off. Texas Country Live, I'm your host, Rod Binion. We'll be right back. 59 Hangout, 23736 US 59, Sweet F in Porter, Texas. Y'all come see us. Pool tournaments, dart leagues, and cold beer. Check us out on Facebook. 59 Hangout. Come hang out with us. 281-704-7177. Okay, we're back. I'm your host, Rod Binion, Texas Country Live here with Susan Hickman. We're here at the Cleveland American Legion Hall, post 393. And we're so excited to be here. We've got a few people out in the audience today.
Yeah.
And it's, we're going to have a good time today. So we're going to kick this interview off. And you ready to go?
I think so.
All right. Okay. So where were you born, Susan?
I was born in Clear Lake, Texas.
Clear Lake, Texas, she says. Okay. And how old were you when you first started playing guitar?
That's funny. So guitar is definitely not my first instrument.
Really?
Mm-hmm. I started playing guitar, or I bought my first guitar when I was 19.
Right.
I didn't really start playing until I was 20.
Yeah. Cool. And so you do play other instruments then?
Oh, yeah.
Like what?
I play piano. Piano was my first. I started playing piano when I was 5. And then I play violin. I started playing when I was 12 or 13.
Yeah.
Play
Violin. Wow, that's cool.
Yeah, I love it. I'm trying to I used to play all the time, and I haven't so much. But I'm trying to work it back in that end.
Right. I started late in life. I actually had moved to Alaska, and I had some guys in Alaska that, taught me 3 chords and a capo. Mm-hmm. But, I could play and I could sing, and I did that for a long, long time, man. And then it was like 99 when I really picked the guitar back up again and started learning how to play. And it changed my life. I'm telling you, I wrote my first song in 2000, and it just absolutely changed my life. And so I highly recommend that for anybody out there, no matter how old you are. Pick up the guitars. If you stick with it, you get past the pain stage. That's the toughest part,
Yeah, and the consistency, that's key. I mean, you're going to be terrible for a long time.
Oh, yeah.
I am everything that I have done musical yet. I'm not like naturally just gifted. Like people are like, oh, you have natural talent. I'm like, well, maybe a little tiny bit, but like most of it is just a lot of work.
Right, right. Well, when I first saw you at Rock, Wine, and Blues, you were great, But compared to what you do today, it's amazing the evolution of how you become as an artist and the connection that you're able to make now that maybe not so much back then, And I was so impressed with what you do. I mean, you were great back then, but, man, when I see you out there today and I listen to what's going on and I see the audience reaction, I'm like, man, I know that girl. Absolutely. I opened for her once.
That's awesome.
Okay, when did you write your first song?
Probably, I was really, really little. My sister and I actually, we were going through all of my old baby things and
Right.
Childhood things. We're trying to organize everything, and we came across. I used to have my own show.
Sure.
As a little tiny child.
Right on.
And I have cassette tapes. I have boxes full of them. And so, like, we were kind of going through some of those. We're like, okay, when you come over next, we're going to listen to some of these. But I used to write little songs, and I would sing them to her in her
Really?
crib.
That's cool.
Yeah. And so I think my first full song I wrote, I think I was like 4 or 5.
Really?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's young. I heard Keith Urban, Dan Rather was interviewing him. He said, did you learn to play guitar, to pick up the chicks like everybody else? He says, Dan, I was 5 years old. I don't think chicks had anything to do with it. I thought that was pretty funny. But, all right then. And do you remember what your inspiration was, or did you have inspiration at that age?
So my first full-length song that I wrote, I remember hearing, what is that song? Angels Among Us.
Right.
Do you remember that
I
song?
do.
I can't even remember.
Is that Alabama?
No, or maybe. I can't even remember now who does it. But I remember hearing that song, and I wanted to write a song that was that inspiring.
Right, right.
And so I wrote my first song after, like my first real, I think, like country song.
Sure, sure.
Yeah.
The very first song I wrote, was like in 2000, and I was at home one day, and I was bored, and I was playing my guitar, and I have a Masonic Bible that belonged to my grandfather, and it was sitting on my coffee table, and it was in front of me, and I said, you should write a song. And I looked down, and there's this Bible sitting there. I thought, you know what, that'd be a cool song. And so I wrote this song called Papa's Bible, and it was the very first song that I ever wrote. And, it's a decent song. It's not a fantastic song or anything, but it's just a story about him taking me fishing when I was, 6 years old. And then the second verse is about me taking him fishing when he's 86.
Oh, cool.
And, it kind of reverses the roles there. But it's a cool song, and a lot of people like it. But I haven't played it in a while. I guess I need to start playing it
Yeah,
again.
bring it
But,
back out.
Well, was there music in your family? People in your family play?
Oh, yeah. My whole, like, my mom's side of the family, we always were singing at, get-togethers, family reunions.
Right.
Not a whole lot of instruments. Like, a couple, like, my mom played piano. My aunt played piano a little bit, but it was mostly vocals.
Sure.
So we'd have, like, 3 and 4 or 5 part harmonies. And
Right.
everyone was always singing. We didn't even need instruments. Somebody just started singing, and we just go for it.
Right on. That's awesome.
My dad's side of the family, like 1 or 2 of my aunts, and then my uncle, my dad's brother, Ronnie Hickman, he played guitar, sang, and he made his first album probably 9-10 years ago, something like that.
Right.
All about trains. They're railroad men, so that's what I grew up around. And so whenever people are like, oh, I work for the railroad, I'm like, hold on a minute, I got the perfect album for you.
I got you.
Yeah, it was very cool. I mean, we're always singing either side of the family.
That's
so
awesome.
Yeah, very cool.
My mother played piano, and it was in my family, mostly gospel music, at church and whatnot. But I have a couple of aunts that played, and then I had, I guess she's my second cousin or third cousin. I'm not sure how that works, but my mother's cousin played guitar, and I remember that he had a 12-string. I just thought that was the neatest thing, And but I was very young, and I tried to learn to play when I was young, but I just couldn't do it. I never got past the pain stage. And plus, I'm dyslexic, so it was very difficult to try to read music. And I still don't read music to this day. I play by ear, so that's the way I do
I
it.
play by ear too. I
Do
mean,
you? Good for you.
I know how to read music, but I played by ear. A lot of people didn't. My mom knew it, but a lot of people, like my violin and my
Right.
piano teacher, they're like, no, she's
I can remember going to my aunt's one day, and she was playing the piano, and she was reading the music and playing. And anyway, she got up and I sat down and I started playing it. She goes, how do you know what keys to hit? I'm like, what do you mean? And she goes, well, you don't read music? I was like, no, I don't. And she said, well, how do you know what keys to hit? I'm like, I couldn't understand the question. I mean, they're there, and I guess by repetition maybe, I don't know. But I could do it, and it's just weird how I can do it sometimes. I used to be able to do it a whole lot better then than I do now because I'm so out of practice. But, it's pretty funny. People who read music don't understand how people who don't
get it. Yeah.
they don't get it, man. And that's cool. That's okay.
And a lot of times it's vice versa too. It's like,
right.
How do you know how to, like, you have to read and how do you do
How
it
you do that at the same time?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. I know exactly what you're saying. Okay. Well, did you play in church at all when you were a kid?
Mm-hmm.
Right on.
Sure did.
That's cool.
Yeah, I started playing, I started playing piano in church. I sang a lot. I started choir when I was like 6, I think.
Right.
And then I played in our church orchestra violin.
Cool. Awesome. Well, when exactly was it that you realized that music was, something that more than just something that you do, more than just something that you listen to, that it really had a lot of power? This power of music, I talk about it all the time. It's an incredible thing. It can do anything. It heals. It mends hearts. It's just amazing what music does to some people and how it affects some people. Do you remember when you realized how old you were, baby, when you realized that music was something more than what you just listened to? That there was something you were destined to do?
Yeah, I mean, I think I knew it for a long time. I just didn't know how to convey it to like my family and my parents.
Right.
I remember, being very, very little, 5, 6, 7. I would always, like, any family get-togethers, any time that we would get together with my dad's best friend, like I would always, like, I'd get phone books out. Y'all remember those? I'd get the phone books out and I'd make myself a little stage and I'd make everybody come around. We always had hymnals around, so like
right.
I would pass out the hymnals or like what was supposed to be a hymnal, and I would get up there and I would sing like 2 or 3 songs. I'd make everybody be quiet, and I always knew I was supposed to be on stage.
Right.
And I feel like, whenever, Garth started getting like really big, I would watch his concerts and I'm like, this is incredible. I want to do this.
Right. I hear you.
And I think it was just like my sister had a guitar. I always wanted to play guitar. My mom wanted me to start with piano because my hands were so little bitty. And my sister had this little bitty guitar and I would beg her to play it. Beg.
Sure.
And she's like, you can't play it, but you can hold it. And so I would hold it just like I'm holding it this, and I would tap along like it was a little drum. It's funny, she never let me play. It's actually hanging in my house now. She gave
right on.
Yeah, she gave
That's
it to
cool.
me finally.
That's cool.
But between him and between like Leanne Rhymes was a huge one whenever she came on the scene.
Sure. She's fantastic.
Oh, she's wonderful.
Wow.
I remember seeing her. She was at an award show and she sang Unchained Melody and she sang Blue. And I remember my dad was so mesmerized.
Sure.
And so was I.
I think I was too, yeah, right.
Everybody was. We're like, who is this girl?
Because, you hear her voice and it does not match her body. It was crazy.
Yes. And so I heard that and I told my mom that night. I was like, that's what I need to do. That's what
Cool.
I have to do.
That's cool.
And I'm like, if she could do it, I could do it. She's only like a couple years older than me.
Right.
And I think it was either that night or the very next day I started making a list of, like, I got in my phone books because I had a lot of them.
Right.
I got in the phone book and I started writing a list of like all the talent agencies in Houston.
Right.
And I called them that next morning
That's awesome.
and I made appointments and I'm like, Mom, here's what we're doing.
Well, you were taking the bull by the horns at an early age.
Yeah.
Like you do now. I said it earlier. I have never seen anybody self-promote as much and as good as what you do. It's amazing.
Thank you. I appreciate
I see it all the time, man. And everybody that I know, if I mention your name, man, I see that chick on Facebook all the time. And that's awesome. It's so hard. That's the hardest thing about playing music is to get booked. I mean, absolutely. And but you seem to be in that upper echelon of people that doesn't have any problems getting booked. And I respect you for that immensely. So keep up the good work, man. Because you know what? That's what it takes. You got to hustle to make it in this crazy business.
You do.
Absolutely.
The hustling and then the just not taking no for an answer.
Right.
I mean, I got so many no's when I still get no's all the time, but I take that instead of like a rejection type of thing. I mean, I
Right.
could go cry in my room and never come out again.
Right.
Lord knows I've wanted to. But I mean, I take it as like, it's not a no, it's just a not right now. Like there's that door, I'm not going to close it off.
Right.
It's just, it's supposed to come around sometime else.
Sure.
So I just kind of circle back around.
It's just
every
not your
now and then.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it. I get it. Well, let me ask you this. Do you have a favorite artist? Maybe top three, maybe.
Oh, I have so many favorite artists. I love Dolly Parton. I love her.
Dolly's awesome, man.
I think she is absolutely amazing. More of like this, day and age. I love Ashley McBride.
Really?
She's incredible. Her writing is just
Right.
stellar.
Cool.
I love Vince Gill.
Vince is
I
awesome.
love Merle Haggard.
Vince was my mother's favorite. Absolutely.
Yeah. Oh, I want to do a duet with him so bad. I have a song in mind that I've wanted.
Really?
I haven't even released it, and it's been recorded for a couple of years now.
We'll talk about duets. Dolly Parton did one with Brad Paisley, When I Get Where I'm Going.
Oh, yeah.
And that harmony part, I heard him talk about it on the radio, that she took a harmony part and turned it into a duet because I'm getting goosebumps talking about it. It was so strong, man. Dolly is awesome, man. She could sing anything and make it the most, awesome recording or that you've ever heard in your entire life, man. Just something about that lady. And, she's been around for a very, very, very long time. She's been there and done that. But her talent is just crazy, man. She's so good. She can do anything she wants. Mm-hmm. And it's awesome that she's still out there doing it. Yeah, I'd love to go to Dollywood sometime.
Yeah.
Check it out. Okay, let's see here. Okay, now when you write a song, do you have a specific formula that you follow? Like, do you do the music first and then the lyrics? Or do you write lyrics first and then the song and then the music?
I don't have a set way. I know a lot of people do. I tend to have lyrics come to me first,
Right.
and I'm a hook person. So I always
You find the hook and write around it.
yes.
Right
And
on.
it's not necessarily the easiest thing in the world because I have so many hooks that I'm like, this would be a killer song.
Right,
And I just don't know what to do with it.
right. I've had writer's block for a long time, and I haven't written a song in a crazy long time. But I want to so bad, and I keep thinking that I'm going to be able to pick it back up one of these days. But I have hooks coming to me all the time, and I know exactly what you're talking about. And I have tried that approach. I've tried every approach there is, I guess, trying to write a song. Man, for the most part, I would just play the music that I would come up with, and then whatever it made me think about, that's what I'd write the song about. And it worked for me for a long time. But it just quit working, and I can't find anything that works now. But you know what? I'm not giving up. I'll still try. I'm still hoping that someday it's going to come back to me.
Yeah.
Hopefully, anyway. Okay, and do you have a particular song that is your favorite, or maybe that you want to be remembered by that you've written?
I don't think I have a particular song. Like, I love so many of them.
Right.
And I don't consider myself like the best songwriter in the world, but I mean, I have a lot of them that are very, very special to me.
Cool.
I'd like to be remembered by something that, like, if one of my songs touched someone in some way or helped
Right.
someone get through something, or
Sure.
that would be very important.
Sure, that's important. Okay, and are most of your songs true life? Are they personal experiences, or are they fiction?
Most of them are true life.
Right.
So I'm a very emotional writer. Like, if I'm going through something, or like people close to me are going through things, I write about that. And actually, last year, one of my very dear friends, Bree Bagwell, she added me to this little song group that she started. And it was an extension of some other ones that kind of, started around, like during quarantine and all of that.
Right.
Like the sequestered songwriters and all that.
Sure.
But she added me to this group, and, every other week we had a song that we had to turn in, and we had a prompt.
Right.
And we had to write this whole song around this word or this prompt. And that was I think that was like the first time that I was like, oh, I need to actually write something outside of my own emotional, like, that's what a songwriter is. It's just to say, okay, you're sitting down with someone, maybe it's just a brand new singer-songwriter, and they say, I want to write about this, and you have to prove, you
Right.
have to prove yourself, like, okay, you're going to sit down, you're going to write this stuff. And I think that group really did help me grow. For one, it kept me accountable. Like, we had
Right.
to have it turned in every other week.
Right.
And so I think that was a very, very cool thing. I stayed in that group for, a good many months, and I loved it.
Right.
So,
Right.
but I tend to be a much more emotional writer. I write what I feel.
Okay, well, I'll tell you what. Let's take a quick break,
Okay?
and we'll be back shortly. My name's Rod Binion. This is Miss Susan Hickman. Texas Country Live here at the American Legion, Post 393 in Cleveland, Texas. We'll be right back.
Texas Country Live, brought to you by Performance Connections and Thread Rep LLC for all your torque turn and thread rep needs. McCrary's Auto Repair LLC, We work hard to earn your trust and loyalty. We know how important it is to find a Huffman car service you can rely on. So your satisfaction is our top priority each and every day. McCrary's Auto Repair, 3731 Trent Road, Huffman, Texas. McCrary's Auto Repair. Come feel the difference. Triangle Express for all your hotshot flatbed shipping needs. Triangle Express is a veteran-owned and locally operated business. At Triangle Express, we get up there on time, every time. Triangle Express, we deliver. Now hiring owner-operators. Call 979-595-8871.
Hello, everybody. We are back. Texas Country Live. I'm your host, Rod Binion. The beautiful Miss Susan Hickman right here beside me. We got a few more questions for you, then we're going to get into let you play that guitar and sing for us. Okay, well, let me tell you. Let me ask you. What do you do when you're not writing or playing? Do you have any kind of hobbies?
Yeah, I do. When I'm not designing merch or updating websites and schedules and all that stuff, like
Right.
just outside of music stuff. I rarely watch TV, and I have been actually watching a lot more lately,
Really?
just to kind of just decompress. And
Right.
I have 2 dogs.
Dogs are important.
Oh, they're so important.
I am a dog person. I think
They're my whole life. I love them so much.
I wanted to bring my mascot, Sugar Dog, but she wasn't able to come today. She had prior engagements. So she's a sweetheart. She's a Maltese is what she is.
Oh, I used to have one.
Really? Yeah.
Yes, they are the best dogs.
She's so loyal, man. I'm
Oh.
telling you, I just love her to death.
They're amazing.
But she keeps me warm at night.
Yeah. Oh, that's so cool.
Well, I'll tell you what. Let me ask you this. Who are you? What kind of person are you? I mean, what's important to you?
I mean, values, relationships, those things are important to me. Like,
Sure.
I feel like, I don't know, doing what we do, really anything. Like, I mean, you always have to have, like, you have to, always be making connections. And,
Sure.
Building relationships.
I
And
get
all that
it.
kind of stuff.
Okay. Go ahead.
No, I mean, I think that that's important. And, like, I'm a very open book. I think that people who know me, they know me.
Right. Right.
I don't really, I don't know. I wear my heart on my sleeve. So
Sure.
I feel like, who I am is who I am, and I feel like I attract people that are like
Right.
that too.
And I think that's very, very common among artists who play and sing. They wear their heart on their sleeve. It's important to them. That emotion is strong. And the ability to, make people relate to that is a tough thing. It's not really something that you learn. You either can or you can't. And there's a song, The Ride, David Allen Coe, I'm sure you heard of it. Well, there's a line in there, boy, can you make folks feel what you feel inside. And, there's something about that line it's that I connect with and I get because, that is really the trick. That's the key. It's to make people feel that emotion. I've said it before, it may not be, the song that I've written may not be about the emotion that they're feeling, but they are feeling an emotion. It's crazy how people interpret things so differently. You can have 10 different people look at the lyrics or listen to a song, and they have 10 different opinions about what the song is about, and none of which might even be really what the song is about, And so I think that's cool. That's part of the songwriting that I really, really dig, big time. Okay, and let me ask you this. Are you a country girl?
Yeah, I mean, versus a city girl, for sure.
Yeah, right on.
I mean, I actually lived in the city for like 4 months, and I was like, get me out of here. So I moved to 80 acres. Like,
Right. I lived in the suburbs. I grew up in Huffman, out on Lake Houston.
Yeah.
And, of course, back then, it was just a small town.
Little bitty.
And, the way we saw it, the people in Atascocita across the lake, they were all the rich kids, the privileged kids, and we were just the dumb hillbillies on the east side of the lake, But it's funny how, the way you see things when you're young is so different than when you grow up and you know what the real story is, But I loved growing up up there, man. Lake Houston is my home.
Oh, mine too. I lived in Atascocita.
Oh, did you? That's cool.
No,
That's
but
cool.
we were always like, so I was homeschooled, my sister and I both.
Yeah.
And we never got into those like weird cliques that everybody else kind of did.
Right.
Like, we had friends in Huffman and Dayton and Crosby,
Right,
and
right.
Atascocita, Kingwood. Like, it was just,
Back then when I was young, everybody knew everybody. It didn't matter where you were from. It just people knew everybody because there weren't that many people out there.
Right.
And so, like you said, man, I had friends across the lake in Crosby, Dayton. It didn't matter, New Caney, whatever. I knew people everywhere.
yeah.
And that was cool, man. And we all got along. It wasn't any kind of, West Side Story gangs going
Right,
on,
yeah.
We all got along, had a good time and partied, And it was a great place to grow up when I was young. Absolutely. Okay, you know, when you and I contacted you and asked you to be on the show, we set a date, and I was joking. I said, it's a date. Well, not a date. It's a date. And you laughed, and you said, you know, that I said I was out of the dating business, you know, and you responded, well, I'm out of the dating business, too. You feel like talking about that?
Sure.
Tell me about it. Who's this guy? I think I've seen this picture on Facebook.
He's adorable.
Well, you know, I have to agree with you. No, I'm secure enough in my manhood to say if another man is attractive, he is definitely attractive.
He's wonderful. He's
Is he?
Leo Mendoza, and he's actually a musician.
Leo Mendoza. Right on. He's a musician. Right on. That's cool.
And he's fantastic, and he is not country at all.
Really?
Yeah.
That's okay.
And it's hilarious because they're like, "How does that?" I'm like, "It just works."
Right?
He's a
Well, good for you.
He's a wonderful man.
You know, happiness is so hard to find sometimes, you know. And if you're happy, I can tell by the look on your face that you are, good for you, Susan. Absolutely.
Yeah, and like it's so important too. Like, not to say that everyone has to be within their same industry, but like it makes sense because he just gets it.
Right.
He just gets the the grind, and
Sure.
I don't put my phone down a lot
Sure.
as much as I should, and a lot of he our quality time together, I don't even want to touch it. So like that's big. For me.
Right. Well, you know, I know you do this Girls with Guitars thing. You want to tell us about that?
Oh my gosh, it is. Can we cuss on the show?
We can beep it out if we have to.
It's hilarious. It is a it's like herding like chickens and cats and all kinds of stuff. And so
A cat herder, right on.
so it's 4 girls. It is myself. It's Presley Lewis, Heather Aileen, and Jessie Roach.
Right.
And
Yeah, I know Presley. I know her a little bit, but I've never heard don't know the other 2 girls yet.
yeah.
I've never met them
Oh,
before.
they're so good.
You know, I want to have them on the show, by the way.
They're incredible.
You got to hook me up.
Oh, I will. I
Right on.
talked to Heather on the way here. She
Right
said,
on.
Let me know
Thank
how
you.
it goes. And I was like, "I will." No, they're just awesome girls, and we've been doing this show in some form or fashion. So we have different girls that kind of come in every now and then, but like the core group is still
Right.
pretty much the same. But we just have so much fun, and it's kind of like anything goes. I mean, sometimes we're like, oh yeah, here's a new song that I wrote, and sometimes we just don't even do any songs that we wrote. We're like, here's all of our favorite covers.
Sure.
And so like you never get the same show ever.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and we actually
And that's tough to do, by the way.
it is. And we do a lot more talking, and we think that we're comedians. when we all get together, we all think we're funny, and we're all
Sure. Right.
trying to crack all the jokes.
Right.
I am probably the least funny out of everyone. Like, I'm always sticking my
I
finger
doubt
in my
that.
mouth. But no, it's a cool thing, and it's people are like, well, why are you singling out the guys or secluding the guys? I'm like, come on, guys, it's a man's world out there.
Right,
Let us
right.
just have our fun.
I think it's cool that y'all get up there and do that because, I guess the 10-man jam or whatever it is, it's been around for a while. And I was always wondering why they didn't ever have.
Well, I'm working on that.
Are you? Good for you.
Yeah, so I am working on that. I've been talking about it for a couple of years, and I've been really, really trying to hone in what venue I want to use, what promoter that I'm going to
Right,
seek
right,
out some help.
right.
Seriously talking about it for the last year.
You have to let me know, and then we'll come out and film some of
For
this.
sure, yeah.
That's
So
awesome.
I definitely want to do it because there's so much talent,
Right.
and
And, in my opinion, I don't mean to interrupt you, but gender has nothing to do with talent.
it doesn't. Absolutely not.
There are just as many talented women as there are men, and there are just as many talented songwriters that are men or women that are as men. And so why they, single out the girls, that doesn't really make any sense to me. I would much rather go see a lady play than I would a man play, honestly, myself. But,
It's just one of those funny stigmas that has just been around for so long.
and you're right, it has been
Decades.
around.
Yeah.
It is. It exists, unfortunately. But, times are changing, and that's kind of going away, and I'm happy about that. It needs to be, everybody needs to be included. Nobody needs to be excluded, in my opinion, because you never know how much talent somebody may have.
Well, I mean, if you're good and you've paid your dues and you've earned a seat at the table, then, I mean, by all means.
Right. I was,
It doesn't matter how old you are or how long you've been in the game either.
Sure.
There's a young gal that's been coming out and doing some stuff. She just moved here from California, and her name is Peyton Howie. She's another one you should have on the show. She's
Sure.
incredible. She's professionally, she hasn't been in the game as long as a lot of us. But I'm like, hey, we need to get her involved because, like, she's killing it right now.
Right.
So it's like, it doesn't matter how long. It's like, are you good? Have you earned a spot here? You
Right.
deserve to be here.
Right, right. Man, I just love it when people are doing well. It's great to see success happen because it can be so difficult. It can be just like a carrot dangled in front of you. But there are a select few that are able to grab a hold of that carrot. And when somebody does, I love celebrating their success, man. It's awesome because I know how difficult it is, and I know what you have to go through to achieve it. And so anytime anybody's doing very well like yourself, man, I'm all over. I say congratulations, keep it up, keep up the good work because it's hard work.
Oh, it is.
There's no doubt about it. It's tough. It's not like
for the faint of heart.
No, it is definitely not for the faint of heart, no doubt. Okay, I'll tell you what. Let's see. What's the best show you ever played?
I don't think I could put a label on the absolute best show that I've ever played, but one of my most memorable shows was the first time I played in France.
In France?
In France.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah. I played to about 30,000 people, and most of them did not know how to speak English.
Wow.
And they're all singing along to all
Really?
my
That's
songs.
cool.
And I'm going, did I just die and go to heaven?
Right.
So that's probably definitely top
Right.
echelon.
Well, what's the craziest thing that ever happened at one of your shows? Can you remember?
I mean,
something crazy?
I've had all kinds of stuff.
I know, me
happen.
too, man.
I mean, I've had people propose. I've had.
Oh my. I never had anybody propose.
I've had, I don't know, I was thinking about that on the way up here. I'm like, I don't know.
I've had, cops involved.
Oh, yes.
I was playing a place out on 1488. It's closed down now. It's called Barron's Ice House. And I was doing like a karaoke / acoustic show. And these bikers came in. And some guy that was there, he was mentally challenged. Goes, look at this biker guy. And he's like, put your dukes up. And he freaking butts him with the brim of his cowboy hat. The biker guy had just walked through the door. He took 10 steps in. And this guy's in his face. And he doesn't know that the guy's mentally challenged, Man, he freaking knocked him out.
Oh, no.
And, of course, he caught up and called the cops and mentioned the gang name, and I'm not going to mention it. And I'm telling you right now, man, within 15 minutes, there was 13 patrol cars out in the front, and there were U.S. Marshals there. There were Texas Rangers there. The captain of the DPS was there. And, of course, they had the biker guy handcuffed in the back of the patrol car, nothing flat. And so I went over to the captain of the DPS who was running the show, and I said, hey, man, I saw what happened, and I'm over here. When you get ready, I'll tell you what happened. And so he finally comes over, and so I told him, look, man, the guy just walked in. He had no idea what was going on. This guy, you talk to him, you'll realize that he's mentally challenged, And he didn't understand what he was doing and the threat it proposed to this biker guy. And as the biker guy was just protecting his colors and his lady that was with. And so they let him go. They let the biker guy go, And the DPS officer asked me, well, how do you know them? I said, brother, I don't know them guys from Adam. I play here, and but I've never seen them before in my life. But the right thing to do is the right thing to do.
You saw what happened.
Because I saw what happened. And if I'd have been him, I'd have done the same thing. And I said, and you would have too. He goes, well, we're not talking about me, GPS. But, they let the guy go, and it was the right thing to do.
Right.
Unfortunately, the guy that got hit started running his mouth, and the DPS officer told him, if you don't shut up, you're going to go to jail. And he says, blank you. And I'm telling you right now, he went face first into that asphalt.
No.
And they had him handcuffed in the back of that patrol car and nothing flat. So he got punched and went to jail that night.
Oh, my goodness.
But, man, you never know what's going to happen in some of these places I play, But, it is what it is. We have, you have a good time. You got to do what you got to do,
I mean, I remember some of the places early on, man, I played some rough places.
Right?
Looking back, I'm like, oh my gosh, I should.
I have too, man. I have played
But some of those were the best.
some of them are really fun to play. You never
So
know.
much fun.
Absolutely. How much fun you're going to have or how miserable it's going to be.
Yeah.
I've had hecklers before. They got up there and were throwing stuff at me and heckling me. And I'm like, why on earth is the management of this place allowing this to happen, And it was awful. But, it happens. Okay. Is there anything that maybe I should have asked that I have not asked you yet?
Ooh,
That you can think of?
I don't know.
Well, is there anything in particular about yourself that you want people to know about you?
Well, I mean, I think people know this, but it's kind of a underlying fact that I'm also a professional skydiver.
Are you really?
I am.
Wow, that's cool, man.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
I am.
Wow.
I haven't jumped in a while since the whole shut down and all of that.
That makes me love you even more. That's cool, man.
I used to, like, for several years, I lived in a fifth wheel. I traveled around. I lived on
Wow.
different drop zones and
See, man, I could never do that.
loved it.
Yeah, I could never do that.
It was the coolest thing.
I bet. You talking about adrenaline rush. Now that's got to be an adrenaline rush.
It's adrenaline, but it's also like it's the only thing besides music that I was able to like just concentrate on.
Right.
And I've never found anything else that I loved as much as music. So I was like,
Sure.
It was kind of an addiction.
Right. Well, I'm sure it's a way to relieve all the stress. Kind of put everything
yes.
behind, and, take your mind off the music. And that's awesome, man. I had no idea.
Yeah.
That's cool. You rock, girl. I didn't know it. Okay. Anything you want to ask me?
Shoot. Well, I didn't know I was supposed to come with a list of questions.
Well, you don't need to have a list, but
No. I don't know. How long have you been doing this show? I think we talked about.
Well, yours episode number 4. I just kicked it off,
All right.
and it's getting better. The first episode was pretty shaky, but I was so nervous and I had no idea what I was doing. And I'm learning as I go. Poor little Kenny Jackson Jr. You know Kenny.
Oh yeah.
Kenny used to play my band way back when, and man, I love him. He's like a son to me.
He's awesome.
He's so cool. He's so funny.
Oh yeah.
And he likes to fish like I do. So, but man, I kind of felt bad after it was all said and done because man, I was so nervous, and I don't get nervous, But I just when I watch it, I learned so much from that. And then the next one was Mike Wilson. And I learned a lot from that. And then Kevin Lamar. I don't know if you know Kevin or not. He had a lot of good things to say about you, by the way.
Oh, nice.
He was last week, and then I got Philip Griffin next week.
Oh, cool.
So,
That'll be
it's going to be fun. But, man, the show is growing, and I'm getting better. And our editing and production is getting a lot better. And I'm looking forward to it. There's no telling what's going to happen with the show.
very cool.
Yeah, I'm excited about it. And, I've been injured and laying in bed for the past, 13 or so years. And I said this before, it feels good to feel good again. I mean, I have something to look forward to every day. And I'm not laying in bed all the time. It's so difficult for me to get around sometimes. Some days are better than others. But now I have a reason to get up. And, I really don't play that much anymore because I have to play sitting down, and it's just not the same.
Right.
And I lost at least a third of my range because I'm sitting down, and I'm a big guy, a lot bigger. I gained a lot of weight when I got injured and became inactive. But, doing this, man, it's been a godsend, obviously. And I love it, man.
Sometimes you just don't know what you need.
And, you're right. Absolutely. And what's funny is when Dale first mentioned it to me, I told him no, I wasn't interested. I didn't really know that much about the podcast, And so I got to thinking about it. So I went online. I'm a Google guy. And so I started, looking at different podcasts. I was like, you know what? I think I might be able to do that, And so here I am. And I'm loving every minute of it, girl. And I'll tell you what, I really appreciate you taking the time to come out today.
Of course.
And I'll tell you what, we're going to come back. We'll take a quick break. And Susan's going to do a couple of original songs. And I want you to tell me the name of it and what the song's about. And everybody gets the opportunity to hear what you do.
Cool.
All right, guys. Texas Country Live. My name's Rod Billion. Miss Susan Hickman right here. We shall return. Thank you very much.
59 Hangout, 23736 US 59, Sweet F in Porter, Texas. Y'all come see us. Pool tournaments, dart leagues, and cold beer. Check us out on Facebook. 59 Hangout. Come hang out with us. 281-704-7177.
Hey, everybody. We are back. Texas Country Live. I am your host, Rod Billion, the beautiful Miss Susan Hickman here. She's going to play a couple tunes for you, some of her original stuff. So we want you to pay attention and take a listen. Susan is crazy talented. And what song are you going to do first?
Oof. I guess I got to figure that one out.
That might help.
I'll do Moth to a Flame. I had this song out.
Moth to a Flame.
Yeah.
Right on.
I released this back in 2015. Wrote
Right.
it about 10, 12 years ago, something like that. And
And that reminds me, I don't mean to interrupt you, but you have your own publishing company, right?
I do.
That's awesome, man. When you told me that earlier, I was like, man, that is freaking cool. The emphasis long ago with music record companies, they wanted to own everything. They wanted to be able to tell you what to do and, how to dress, what to say. And, fortunately, the industry is getting away from that. And people like you are doing their own thing. And I think that's awesome, man. Kudos to you, girl.
I mean, as long as if you're resourceful and you can do it as long as you can, I mean, at some point, a lot of, you know, you need a team and help and all of that kind of stuff. And
Right.
I'm not saying I don't have help, I do, but
Sure.
I have been able to stay completely independent for, I'm going on
Good for you.
23 years playing
Good
music
for you.
professionally.
That's awesome.
It makes me sound old. But yeah,
Right on. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, Miss Susan Hickman, Moth to a Flame.
should listen to what the people said when it came to you. It was right, then you wrecked me. I took the bait like a child. You said all the right things. No, I never meant for. I was drawn to you despite your game, like a moth to a flame. You said it was hard to let your guard down. Well, it was hard for me too. Yeah, swore I never loved another. Oh no, no. Then along came you. You said all the right things. No, I never meant for. I was drawn to you despite your game, like a moth to a flame. I could have been everything you needed if you wanna just let me in. I hope you're happy in the bed we used to lay. Ooh, but it still smells like me. You said all the right things. No, I never meant to fall. I was drawn to you despite your game, like a moth to a flame. I was blinded, I would have taken your name, like a moth to a flame. To a flame.
Man, y'all give it up now. Girl, that was sweet, I'm telling you. That was that gave me goosebumps. That was awesome.
I appreciate it, thanks.
Okay, what else you got?
Ooh, wait, okay, let's do, ooh, can I do like a slow sad
You do
one?
whatever you want to do, girl.
Oof. So this, this song is, I didn't sing this song for a really long
I
time.
love sad songs. I dig it.
This is the epitome of crying in your beer song, I think. I wrote the song, in, what year was it? 2015, 2016, something like that. This will be on the new record
Right
next
on.
year. So it's called Your Ring. Like a bullet to the heart in the dead of night, your I say my prayers and I wonder how you feel. Is it true that with time all wounds heal? If it's your intention to find your way back to me, first I had to believe it set you free. Oh, it looks like I'm moving on. People say I've been so strong. I pretend that you don't need me. I still wear your ring. Oh, I still wear your ring. Well, I don't understand if I'm your girl and you're my man. When did it stop for you? When did we go wrong? Is it the need to be alone or the instinct to roam? You wanna fly, but expect me to stay still. It looks like I'm moving on, fighting like hell to stay strong. I pretend that you don't mean a thing. I still wear your ring. Oh, I still wear your ring. I pretend that you never meant a thing, but I still wear your ring. Oh, I still wear your ring.
Wow. Wow. Man. Girl, you got it going on, I'm telling you. That was freaking awesome right there.
Thank you.
I love it. I love it. Your voice is crazy. It's incredible, man.
I appreciate
You know, there are so many people in Nashville right now that don't have half the talent that you have. It's crazy that you're still here, not there. There's something wrong with that system.
Well, there is, and I think it's not necessarily a breakdown between Texas and Nashville. It's a breakdown between what, I don't know. I'm not knocking anybody that's on the
Sure.
radio and people that are out there
Right.
doing their thing and
Right.
everything, but it takes a lot more than just talent.
It
And I
does.
think a lot of people don't realize.
They don't. I spent a little time in Nashville, and that was the biggest lesson that I learned, that talent has so much less to do with it than what you would think. You know, it's more about who you know and how much money you have and the contacts that you have. You know, it's not about how great you are or how good the songwriter you are. And you know, it's a shame because there are so many talented people, and they have so much to say and so much to give, and the opportunity to do that is so slim. You know, and that's why we're here.
That's why we're here.
Right on. Okay, you got one more time. What you got?
Sure. Let's do, this is one of my favorites. This is called Rewind.
Rewind.
I wrote this, or I started writing this on the way to a writing session back 2015, 16. That was a lot. There's all kinds of things flowing.
Right, right.
But I was swamped. I mean, I'm always swamped, but I was having a hard time just keeping up with everything. I was really heavy writing. I was doing all the shows. I was doing, I was mentoring some singer-songwriters
Sure.
at the time with this awesome program, Real Life, Real Music. We were, doing that real heavy, and I was like, I just need like a pause button, or better yet, like a rewind.
McCrary's Auto Repair, LLC. We work hard to earn your trust and loyalty. We know how important it is to find a Huffman car service you can rely on. So your satisfaction is our top priority each and every day. McCrary's Auto Repair, 3731 Trent Road, Huffman, Texas. McCrary's Auto Repair. Come feel the difference. Texas Country Live, brought to you by Performance Connections and Thread Rep LLC for all your torque turn and thread rep needs.
Hey, y'all. Miss Susan Hickman doing a song she wrote called Rewind.
It's one of my favorites. I hope you guys
Right on.
like it too. Heard people say, live and let live is a way to let your worries go. I know tomorrow is coming fast, I've gotta hurry. I'm running out of gas. If I let the wind carry me away, will my mind erase all my burdens today? It's hard to focus when it's so far behind. Emotions are shouting so loudly in my mind. I need to rewind. I need to rewind. Oh, feast your time like it is their own. Troubles that come and you can't let them go. The pressures from life we carry on our backs. It's tough to see the light through the cracks. If I let the wind carry me away, will my mind erase all my burdens today? It's hard to focus when it's so far behind. Emotions are shouting so loudly in my mind. I need to rewind. 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 If I let the wind carry me away, will my mind erase all my burdens today? It's hard to focus when I'm so far behind. Emotions are shouting so loudly in my mind. I need to rewind. I need to rewind.
Wow. That was awesome. That's my favorite one right there out of the three. I like that one the most. Okay, y'all. Miss Susan Hickman. We'll be right back. We're going to take a quick break. And I want to take the time right now to mention that Texas Country Live supports the Blue, okay? We support our local law enforcement. Those guys are out there risking their lives every day to take care of us. And they do things that we have no idea what they do out there. I was an ex-police officer. I was a police officer when I was a kid. And I know what they do. And it's tough, especially now. So, man, support the Blue. We're on your side, guys. That thin blue line that everybody talks about, we're on your side. So keep up the good work, and thank you for your sacrifice. We'll be right back. Miss Susan Hickman, we're going to do Shoot It or Boot It, and then we'll be out of here, okay? Thank you all for joining us. Thanks to the audience for being here. We appreciate you. And Texas Country Live, we'll be right back.
59 Hangout, 23736 US 59, Suite F in Porter, Texas. Y'all come see us. Pool tournaments, dart leagues, and cold beer. Check us out on Facebook. 59 Hangout. Come hang out with us. 281-704-7177. Texas Country Live. Brought to you by Performance Connections and Thread Rep LLC for all your torque turn and thread rep needs. McCrary's Auto Repair LLC. We work hard to earn your trust and loyalty. We know how important it is to find a Huffman car service you can rely on. So your satisfaction is our top priority each and every day. McCrary's Auto Repair, 3731 Trent Road, Huffman, Texas. McCrary's Auto Repair. Come feel the difference. Triangle Express for all your hotshot flatbed shipping needs. Triangle Express is a veteran-owned and locally operated business. At Triangle Express, we get it there on time, every time. Triangle Express, we deliver. Now hiring owner-operator. Call 979-595-8871. Okay, everybody, we are back. Texas Country Live. I'm your host, Rod Binion. The beautiful and talented Miss Susan Hickman right here. Okay, this is a segment what we call Shoot It or Boot It. Okay, I'm going to give you an adult beverage. Okay.
Okay.
You tell me whether you would shoot it, pow, or boot it.
Okay.
You with me?
I'm with you.
Okay, and this segment is sponsored by 59 Hangout in Porter. Cold beer, they have darts, pool tournaments. 59 Hangout, come hang out with them. Come hang out with us. Pretty awesome. Okay, shoot it or boot it. Okay, you ready?
Ready?
All right, Patron.
Oh, shoot it.
Right on. Ghost Lager.
Boot it.
Boot it. Red Hots.
Boot it.
Boot it. Jack.
Shoot it.
Shoot it. There you go. Moonshine.
I highly do, I recommend not ever doing that. Boot it.
Boot it.
Boot it.
Yeah, you know, man.
Unless it's trash can punch.
Well, you know, you tend to see visions when you drink moonshine.
Ooh.
I've had a little bit myself, so I know what it's all about. Okay, let's see here. Bailey's Ice Cream.
Oh, shoot it.
Shoot it.
Yes.
Biggermeister, shoot it or boot it?
Shoot it.
Shoot it, that girl. Okay, last one. Peach Brandy.
Ooh, shoot it. Yeah.
Shoot it. There you go. Okay, y'all. Thank y'all very much for joining us out here. I'd like to thank 59 Hangout for sponsoring Shoot It or Boot It. And Miss Susan Hickman here. My name's Rod Binion. I'm your host. And we appreciate y'all coming out. And we enjoyed the American Legion Hall here. Their facility is amazing. And thank you guys for letting us come out here and shoot today. And I want to give a shout out to my buddy Lucky Dayton. He's got an album coming out on Spotify. I can't remember what the name of it is. But he's out of Hempstead, Texas. He's an old friend. And so y'all check him out. He's a crazy guy. And his music comes out exactly that way. So anyways, Texas Country Live, we appreciate y'all coming out. And we can't wait to see you again. Thank y'all for coming out. We appreciate it.